What's up guys, Mike here, the Detroit Borg, and today we're going to take a look at watchOS 3, which brings some significant user interface changes and some new features. So getting started with the watch face, one of the great things here is that we can now swipe across the watch face to access different watch faces currently active. So you don't have to pick one watch face that you're stuck with. Previously, what you had to do is select a watch face from one of the lists here, customize it to however you want, and that's what you were stuck with, unless you wanted to go back and pick another watch face. So it's kind of nice to just swipe between the ones that are available to you. Another thing here is that if you swipe up from the bottom, we have a control center instead of a glances feature. So this gives us access to our battery status, airplane mode, do not disturb. We also have the ability to lock the watch or to ping for our nearby iPhone, which is always a handy feature. And then, of course, we have a Bluetooth button. So this allows us to turn off Bluetooth headphones if you have those connected to your watch. More significant, however, is this button along the side. So this used to access your contacts. Now it accesses your dock. So this is a new idea for the Apple Watch. So basically, these are apps that have been pinned to your dock. So they're always at the ready. They're constantly updating the information so they're readily accessible. And of course, you can modify this. So one of the features here includes the music player. And as you can see, this is a live tile. So it's actually updating with the current information. So again, if I hit that button, you can see that it's currently animating. You can see the countdown for the song that's currently playing. I can bring this forward to control my media if I want. So let me show you how this works. So if we go to the app launcher, again, we press the digital crown, brings us to the app launcher, so that's pretty familiar. But if you want to go to the weather app here, so let's just launch into the weather app. And now if we go to the dock, you can see that has been added toward the end here. So that is a recent app. Now, it's also given me the option here to keep it in the dock. So this will pin it to the dock, so it's always available to me when I go to my dock, and that's kind of nice. Now, if I want to remove this, I can swipe up to remove it. Now, in terms of the app launcher, this hasn't changed a whole lot here, but we do get a new animation when we launch the app. So you can see the new launch animation, which is kind of nice, and apps generally load much faster than they did before. So there we go, we have our reminders. It also preserves the state of more apps than before. So for example, I can launch into my calendar app, jumps right back to it. My weather app, again, these are all apps in my dock. And even if I've opened up apps previously that are not in my dock, like the Photos app, you can see it's ready to go already. Now, before I talk about these new apps, let's talk about these watch faces, and they have some new features here. One of the great things here is that we now have this new music complication, which we can add to our watch face. So right now it's telling me what's playing on my iPhone, and of course I can tap on it to jump right to that control center. If I go back here, it takes me to some additional options, such as My Music. So again, it just takes me to the music app, which is kind of nice, and it's also been updated for the Apple Watch. Of course, you can modify this just by tapping and holding on it, and you can go to Customize, and again, you can see that option right here, which you can cycle through. So you can see your moon phases or whatever you want to add. Now, what's really neat about this music app complication is that it works with time travel. So again, if I use time travel on my watch, all I have to do is dial back in time to see my previous events, the weather conditions, or whatever. It also tells me what songs I was listening to. Now, one of the new watch faces includes Minnie, and there's a lot going on with Minnie. So for example, if you select Minnie or Mickey, you can actually just tap on the screen to get a call out for the current time, which is kind of neat. Now, if I go to Customize, this actually allows me to change between Mickey and Minnie. And Minnie gives us several options here. So if we select Minnie and swipe across, we can select our color. So we have a number of colors to pick from: white, and we have to scroll to the other direction to get to classic, orange, light orange, yellow, green, turquoise, light blue, and everything in between. So if you really want to customize your Minnie, you can go ahead and do that. Now, in terms of Mickey, you have less options here. You can change it to classic or red. But again, if we tap on Mickey, again, you get a call out.
It's 7:28.
The extra large watch face also adds some new features, such as extra large complications. And there's a lot to pick from here. So you can go with the weather or some other weather conditions, exercise. You can see other time zones from your world clock. You can see the sunrise or sunset stocks, and even the remote app, which is kind of neat to have. Certain watch faces also allow us to add app shortcuts. So for example, with this watch face, I can add the home app, heart rate app, or a number of apps, including the mail app. So I can go ahead and select that, pin it. So now if I go to the watch face, this will launch directly into the mail app. Now we do get quite a few new apps, including the Reminders app, which is nice to have integrated from your iPhone. Another new app is the Breathe app, and this is kind of an interesting app. Now it's basically a breathing exercise app, so I know a lot of people think this is kind of silly, but it's kind of great for meditation. So let's go start this and show you how this works. So basically it's telling you to be still, to focus on your breath, And then once it tells you to inhale, it actually gives you taptic feedback through the taptic motor. So it actually tickles your wrist. So it tells you when to breathe in, so you don't have to pay attention to the watch. And then once it stops, you can exhale. And so this whole exercise goes on for about a minute and records your heart rate during this entire exercise. We also have this Home app, and this works with HomeKit. So this is an app that works with iOS 10 as well. So basically, we can control our HomeKit devices on our network, such as our light bulbs, thermostats, or that sort of thing. You can easily access it from your watch. We also have a standalone heart rate app. So this used to be built into Glances, so now it's readily available from the app launcher. And we also have a Find Friends app, and this works with Find Friends on your iOS 10 device. The Activity app has also been completely redesigned, so we now have this one page we can scroll through for all of our information, and if you swipe to the right, you can actually share your activity with other users, but they're prompting me to do this on the Apple Watch app. Now, in terms of sharing your fitness activity, if you go to the Activity app on iOS 10, you'll find a new Activity app which has been completely redesigned, but we'll also find the sharing utility. So this allows us to share this with other users so you can compete together. The Messaging app has also been updated with many new features, including many of the effects available with iOS 10. So that includes the digital touch feature, so you can see the digital touch animations on Watch OS as well. And then you can see some of the bubble effects. So for example, we have the invisible bubble effect we can reveal here. And then we have the background effects. So if I scroll all the way down here, you should see them animate in the background. One of the neat new features with the Apple Watch is Scribble. So this allows you to respond to messages either with canned responses, or you can use voice, or you can actually write on them. So for example, if I want to write hello, I can just start writing it and it automatically completes it for me. And it works extremely well. I can even do a double space for a period. You can also write out full words. So if I write this, I can actually use the digital crown to select different words if I meant something else. So if it misunderstood me, which is a good chance here using this technology, you can select something else. It also understands certain characters here, but you can also just select them from the character keyboard instead. Next up, we're going to take a look at the Watch app, which has been completely redesigned with iOS 10, and I think it's a big improvement. So if you want to just quickly jump to the settings, you can also just search for them. So for example, if I want to search for clock settings, you can see it brings them up right away. So it makes it really easy to navigate this. So we have our settings panel, or your My Watch panel. Then you have your face gallery, your app store, and you can also search. Now in terms of My Watch, this is where you can manage the watch faces that you can swipe across. So if we go to edit, we can rearrange them or just delete them if you want. Down here you can see our complications. So for third-party apps that support watch complications, you'll see them here. Right now there are none. We also have the dock. So this allows us to manage the apps that have tiles on the dock. So for example, you can see right now I have 6 apps, and if I want to edit them, I can go up to edit and remove some I don't want, like that, or I can rearrange them, or I can add any one of these apps to the dock as well. So I'm going to click done. That updates my watch with all those apps. And of course, I have lots of other app settings down below. Now, in terms of the face gallery, this is where we can take a look at all the new watch faces for Watch OS 3. One of them is Activity Digital. So this allows us to customize this experience. So we can customize the clock color. We can customize the complications on the screen. So for example, I can select one of the apps here, such as the heart rate monitor, and then I can go to top right and select something else, and you get the idea here. So once I'm done here, I can go ahead and add this to my watch gallery. So now if I go to my watch, you can see one of those watches available toward the end here. So if I go to edit, this allows me to reposition this watch, or if I just want to delete it, I can do so. We also have numerals. So again, you can select your color. You can also select the font. So we have Braille, Stencil, Prisma, Regular, Dotted, Rounded, and chiseled. So again, lots of different colors and formats you can pick from, and you can also select a complication. Of course, you have your Minnie Mouse as well as your activity analog. So again, this is an analog version of the activity monitor we just looked at in the first watch face, and you can select different dial configurations. You can go with the rings or the sub dials. Now, another welcome new feature is that Find iPhone actually works with Watch OS 3. So if you misplace your watch or just want to ping it to find it, you can also use that app to help you out. We also get some changes under settings, and one of them is screenshots, which is now off by default. So if you want to enable that, you can go ahead and click this on. I definitely don't want to enable it. We also have some new wake screen options. So of course, we can turn off this feature. Basically, if we raise our wrist to check our watch, it shows you the clock face. But you have several other options here. So we can actually tell it to show our last use app within 8 minutes, 1 hour, or always. So if you want to see the last use app instead of your watch face, you can choose one of these 3 options. Now, if you choose while in session, this will actually only show you the app when you're looking at it, and once your watch goes to sleep and you raise to wake it, it only shows you your clock face. The workout app also gains a new setting, which is called auto pause. So if you're running outside, this will actually stop recording your fitness data when you stop moving. So if you don't want those big gaps in your fitness data, this will help you out. Now, if you long press the side button, we get to another new feature, which is medical ID. So this will allow you to reveal your medical ID information for those who may be looking for it. All right, guys, so that's going to do for me in this look at watchOS 3. If there are any major updates along the way before we see the final release this fall, I'll keep you updated with future videos. If you guys like this video, please give it a thumbs up to let me know, and I'll see you again in the next one.